Hi teachers. Today I'm going to show you how to add an inbox in NoodleTools and share that inbox with your students so they can turn their bibliographies into you and use the great new resource that we have with NoodleTools. So the quickest way to get to NoodleTools is from the North Library website. If you scroll down to the research sites, you'll find an icon that says NoodleTools. It's also on the teacher tool symbol, but for today, we're just going to use NoodleTools. So if you click on NoodleTools and click Login, you're going to log in, access via G Suite. If this is your very first time logging in, you will need to get the school code from either myself or Molly in the library. You only need that the very first time. So we're going to sign in with Google. And then we come to the NoodleTools home screen. So my projects are all of the projects that you currently have that you are working on personally as a teacher. Inboxes is something that you have as a teacher that you can create for each hour of your class. So I'm going to show you how the steps to take to open an inbox, and then I'll show you what it looks like from the student side when they're turning something in. So I'm going to click on inboxes, and it will list all of my inboxes down here. And as I click on them, it will open them up in a new tab. But we're going to start a brand new project. So I'm going to click the green plus button and then enter a project name. So something that is unique to NoodleTools with our school code is that another teacher can't have the same inbox name that you do. So what I recommend is using your last name, or if you share a last name with another person in the building, then your last name and which English class or which class it is and which hour it is. So I am going to give my inbox a title. And then you can add additional teachers here. So if you are collaborating with another teacher or with librarian, or it's a co-taught class, you can add the other teacher's ID, NoodleTools ID, which is going to be your Google, your Gmail account. And you can add, there's not a limit to how many other teachers you can have on your particular inbox. And then I'm going to click submit, and it's going to create an inbox for me. So this is the title of your inbox that you are going to share with your students, and then all of their projects will come to your inbox. So from the student side, this is what a student account looks like. So you'll see they only have the projects option. And they don't have an inbox. Now I am going to create a project from the student side. And I'm going to choose the citation style. And I always tell the students to pick advanced so they have as many choices for ways to cite things as possible. But they can go back and forth. Each project can be different. So they can do MLA for English and APA for psychology, and Chicago if they're doing something for the library. So this is what the project page looks like for students. They can add their research question here if you want them to do that. Their thesis, it gives them a 30-day log of how often and when they logged in and worked on their project. This can be especially helpful to you as a teacher if you have students that are working on a project together, because you can log in from the teacher side and see exactly who added what citations and worked on note cards. Their paper, it syncs to Google Docs, but this is what we're working on right here where it says project inbox. They are going to share with a project, and then they're going to start typing in the name of the inbox that they're sharing with. And so it will search all of the teacher inboxes within Norman North. And so it has already found my inbox. And then all they have to do is click Done. Now, going back to the teacher side, now I can see that where it says project shared, I have one student that has shared this project with me. So if I click on the inbox name, it's going to open up a new tab for me, and it's going to tell me the name of the project. It's brand new. They haven't added anything else. You can see their style guide that they chose and the level of citations that they picked. And then over here, you can see who it's shared by. So it's going to have their student email, and then in parentheses, it's going to tell you their first name and last initial. So if I choose to look at the student, you can tell up here, it's going to give you a tab that says, this is the teacher view. And I can see all of their inbox from the teacher side. So as a student, if I am creating a source, I am going to create a citation. And we're just going to use a book as an easy example. So you can see this is the student side. They have added the book, the past and other things that should stay buried. The citation isn't completely correct with the capitalization. But the important thing is down here where you see comments, a student can enter a comment or they can ask you a question specifically about that citation. So if I move, they can choose the question box and ask, and you can see where they have asked the question and it timestamps what time they asked. So if I go back to the teacher's side, it's going to give me a red pop-up bubble right here. So I know that a student has asked a question. I can see that it was Indiana that asked it. And when I click on her project title and scroll down, it's going to give me a highlighted, should all these words be capitalized? And you can answer their question and then click finished. It's going to pop up here on their to-do list. So it's going to say you've looked at all the projects, but that this within sources is something that you haven't answered this question yet. So I'm going to mark it done. And then if I refresh the student view, it will show me that I marked it done, but didn't comment back. So they can ask questions back and forth, and you can have a conversation with them about particular sources that they're having problems with. They can also create note cards, and that will be a different how-to video. So that is very simply how you create an inbox within NoodleTools, and then your students will share their bibliography and their project with note cards, their Google Docs paper, all with you. So they will not have to create another bibliography within Google Docs. It will create it within NoodleTools and share it to you with NoodleTools. But they can export it to Google Docs if you want them to. But it's really simple to keep them all organized right here. And then you have the option to archive classes at whatever point, or even delete classes from your inboxes.